Yeah, this is some comments about the role of donor agencies and perhaps governments that actually support organizations that would in turn promote farmer producer organizations or cooperatives. Please recall that following the International Cooperative Alliance definitions, we treat FPOs and genuine cooperatives as very similar. In essence, outside control and interference is minimal. This whole sector as of 2019 is still in a nascent stage, and well established large scale cooperatives or FPOs are very few in number. Perhaps the best way to think about them is to treat them the way we often treat startups. The successful startups share some common things. There is a great business model, but there is no detailed business plan at first. Also, there is a strong objective or goal to reach large scale and or sell out and exit after making some money. And the promoters of these startups are usually people of high caliber and capability. But in spite of that, there are failures. Coming back to the promotion FPOs, donors need to think about a few questions. One is whether to promote various small FPOs in different parts of the country, or try to set up a network of cooperatives which are linked to each other and have common activities in terms of purchase of inputs on one side and marketing on the other side. If that is the goal, the second question is whether we should support a very large number of NGOs to promote cooperatives, or just a few well chosen ones with high capability and a good model. It is very clear that NGOs in the long run, all of them will not scale. In fact, when Operation Flood was rolled out in the dairy cooperative sector, there was only one organization, namely the National Dairy Development Board or NDDB, which had the responsibility to scale it up all over India. Even if we cannot replicate that due to apparent lack of funds, we can still consider whether a few well chosen promoting organizations can be given the responsibility to scale up. The choice of such a promoting agency depends not only on their social commitment, but also on their business capability. This would also mean that the chosen ones would require considerable financial backing. As of now, each NGO typically gets at most about 2 crores, the bigger ones may get about 5 crores per year. In contrast, NDDB had several thousands of crores to roll out their model all over the country, and that too about 40 years ago. So, with the current model of support, it is unlikely that we will see real large scale work. We need to back it up with much more financial resources. Even if we at first want to simply build a significant model, large scale model, which can later be really expanded all over the country, we need to treat these cooperatives as startups. In a typical startup that really scales up later, the model is absolutely right, but the detailed plans evolve over time. Expecting a detailed business plan for the next several years from day one almost never succeeds. Monitoring should be on results and not merely on input parameters. There are 3 simple parameters to consider. One is, what are the new extra number of members enrolled? Number 2, the extra benefit that each member gets. And finally, the efficient use of funds. In other words, what is the total benefit going to the members compared to the grant money given to the promoting agency? As long as these ratios and numbers are okay, the promoting agency should continue to be backed. We must also remember that success takes some time, and typically it takes about 5 years to build a significant sized cooperative, which hopefully will then continue to run in perpetuity.